Yo! So today I'm going to be talking about how to sell retainers as an agency owner without massive resistance, when you should be selling retainers, how to charge big retainers, how to transition from performance to retainers and all this kind of stuff. You know, I see it's like a massive issue. I get a lot of really stupid questions about retainers, like, what markets are like the easiest to sell retainers to? And there's like massive amounts of issues that agencies make with this pricing model. So I just want to cover all of those things. So then in the future, when I get a question about this, I can just send them this video. So yeah, we're talking about retainers. After you watch this, you will be able to sell them if you want to, big retainers, and you'll also know if you should or not. But yeah, it's a pretty laid back, nice Sunday video. I'm drinking my quadruple espresso here, as you should. And yeah, I'll just have a great time with it. Also, before we get into today's video, I have a shameless plug. I started this newsletter. It's called thefile.io. I started this this week, so go sign up for that shit. I dropped some really crazy sauce here. I dropped some bangers, sent a bunch of our internal resources and all this stuff. So go sign up to this. It's going to be the first link in description. And if you don't believe that it's a good investment of your energy, here's a testimonial from the newsletter subscriber. And as you can see, it's for sure something that you should be a part of. This Matthew was clearly happy with it. But yeah, so to get into it, retainers. Retainers, boom. So if you don't know for some reason what a retainer is, I'm not going to take a lot of time to go through this because I think anyone should know that if you run an agency. But retainer is when you charge a fixed monthly fee, you know? So you can either charge like performance-based. What is this? You can charge like performance-based, like after Alex Hormozi came up with his $100 million offer book, like a lot of people just started like charging really fucking random performance-based pricing. And then a lot of people, like their mindset automatically shifted to this performance pricing model, you know, like everything was just performance. And then people realized that, okay, some business models, some offers, some niches, retainers are actually better, or they should run retainers, but they have like an issue in transitioning into them because they are like brainwashed that you have to charge performance. So this leads to a lot of like dumb questions that I get sometimes. It's like, hey, what is the best market to sell retainers to? Or like, what's the best company size to sell retainers to? It's like, there's no real answer. That's fucking stupid. Like every single market. Like what you have to understand is that like retainers are the standard. Like if you look at any actual field out there, like any industry or any geographical location or any business model, like retainers are the standard way of operating. Like they hire employees. It's 99% of the time, it's a fixed fee that they have to pay for the employee, or they buy software, fixed fees. They rent out an office, a fixed fee. Their own pricing, a fixed fee. Everything is fixed fees. Like 95% of all the businesses out there and the like business landscape runs on fixed monthly retainers. So the person, aka you or whoever it is, selling based on like performance, selling like rev share deals or like pay per call deals or whatever, like they are the outlier. They are the weird ones. And yeah, so first of all, like fucking, there's nothing special about selling retainers. I just wanna cover this. It's like pretty fucking basic stuff. It's like basic business pricing. So yeah, in this video, I just wanna cover like main misconceptions. When should an agency sell a retainer? When should they stick to a performance-based pricing? And like what is the one massive issue? There's like one massive issue that people make with retainers, and it's like fucking will kill your business. But yeah, I'm just looking at my notes because I just wanted to make sure that I don't miss anything. But yeah, so first, performance versus retainers. Like before we go into actually how to sell them, like we have to first understand like when should you use either one. I think performance-based pricing is superior. Like performance-based pricing, best, in my opinion. Again, I think it's the best, but only in really specific situations. I think performance-based pricing is really fucking good if I trust the business is good I'm working with, you know? So again, this is gonna really depend on what service you sell. But let's say I work with a business and I do like B2B outbound campaigns for them or B2B sales letters or whatever. Like if I know for a fact that these guys are action takers, they have really good like product market fit, they understand their business, they are able to do like good market research, and they're able to provide me all these materials and all this stuff, and I have control, like I can actually impact the business, like they're not gonna tell me not to do certain things or that I should do specific things. Like I think performance-based pricing is super fucking good. It has way higher cap. Like there's a bunch of cases where me or someone else, like you're able to get like 20 to 50K performance checks for like a project or a campaign or like months of work, but it's really hard to sign like a 30K a month retainer. Like it can happen, and especially if you work with big enough businesses and you have like a valuable enough offer, it's possible, but it's way easier to sell a performance-based deal and perform just really well and get paid like 20, 30 grand for it. So that's why I prefer it. I think I can just make way more money in most cases when selling performance-based. But if for some reason, let's say, like if I don't know the business or trust them a lot, retainers, you know, because what you also have to understand that when you sell someone a performance-based deal, there's like so many, even if you have a lot of control, even if it's like giga done for you, like even if it's like super done for you, like you generate the leads for them, you decide the targeting, you scrape the leads, you decide the offer, you fucking handle the sales process, you close the deals. Like even if you do all of these things, like even if you have control of the full pipeline, like there's still things that your client or your company or partner, whoever you work with, can affect. Like if they're super fucking slow, if they change their offer midway through. Like for example, what happened to us some years ago, this was like 2021, so 4 years ago. What happened to us is we had this big client. We had a big client, and they were like a 9-figure B2B energy company in Scandinavia. And there was this company, and we started working with them, and it was like performance only, and it was like hardcore, true, actual raw performance. So we were getting paid, or like first what we did is we scraped the leads, wrote all the copy, reached out to leads and booked calls, closed the calls and onboarded the clients, bought and paid for all the tools, paid for office space, which was my 20 square meter apartment back in the day, hired, trained, and managed the whole team. And for this, we were getting paid a percentage of the revenue generated. You know, like only after a client had signed the contract and fucking like paid the bills, like we were getting paid. So this was like a fucking great deal for both sides. They had a really good offer. We had a really lucrative commission structure, and the math ended up working out. Like we built, I think at the highest time we had 6 or 7 sales reps that like worked in that team, and we hired all of them, we managed them, we trained them, we generated the leads for them. We built this like automatic cold calling robot. Like before like there was any of this like AI cold calling bullshit, like we created this like machine that we could call like 10,000 numbers every single morning with an automated lead gen messages, and we would get like a bunch of warm leads and all this stuff. So this was working really well. We were making a bunch of money. It was a great job. We had an extremely high performance team compared to their other partners. Like they had like partners or like other sales partners that had like 25-person teams, and when it was like 5 of us, we were outselling these guys. We were like 5 times more efficient than their other partners. It was really great. But then after like 3 months, we had built the team, we had built SOPs, we had fucking built everything. We had like custom coded all these fucking tools and all this shit. Like we had put in a lot of effort. We were just renting out like a bigger office to scale it. Their head of sales changed. So the old head of sales who made the deal with us, they left, and a new head of sales came into place. And she said that, yeah, like these guys are making too much money or whatever, we're going to change the structure. And they completely nuked our whole partnership. So all of the work, all of the team members, all of the fucking IP that we had built throughout those first 3 months to get like really good performance, like we were useless. The economics just didn't work out anymore. Like we couldn't pay the sales reps enough for them to stay. So like this fucked it completely. Even though we had full control, we had control of everything that we needed to have to ensure performance, we got actually absolutely fucked. So again, if you're gonna be going all out for a client and like making them a bunch of money and like you're gonna be building infra and you're gonna be hiring team members and all this stuff for this specific performance only client, even if you have full control, you have to be able to trust them. There has to be like a good contract in place. Obviously we got pretty fucked because we didn't have like a long-term contract. That was dumb of us, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes. So yeah, like when to charge retainers. Charge retainers when you already have shit. Charge retainers when you don't have full control or you have to build expensive infra, or if you are just scared. You know, some people, and again, I don't mean scared in like a super negative way, even though it's a little bit negative, but like some people just can't take the pressure of working performance only. And that's fine. Like that's completely fine. Like if you're going to be hiring team members, building a bunch of expensive infra and all this stuff, like you might not want to take the stress on yourself. Like if you have like a 20K, 30K a month in expenses, like you might want to have some retainers. Otherwise you're going to be stressed the fuck out every single month. So if you want to just alleviate that pain and that stress, that's good. In most cases, you will probably make less money, but it's going to be less stressful. So there's times and place for that. And again, like even if you're really fucking good, if you have like full control, it might not be like the best case. Performance is really good if you have full done for you control, you have lean team and expenses, and you trust the partner you work with. So this is like pretty much the rules that at least I look at when I decide on the performance model on a project. And what you can also do is you can combine this. Like you can do both. Like in some cases, what we do is we smack like a 5K retainer, and on top of that, we do like a 8% rev share on all revenue generated, for example, for an outbound campaign. So that's like best of both worlds. But again, like if we didn't have the 5K retainer, we could have probably like 20% rev share. So we could make more. But again, if we don't trust them fully, we don't want to do full performance, yada, yada, yada. Another time when performance is really good to have is when you're just starting out, because you don't have trust, you don't have credibility. You probably like suck at the service that you deliver as well. So you don't want to be fucking scamming clients. So then you should be doing performance, because you can learn for free. You're not going to be like ripping your clients off. And it's going to be easier for you to sign big deals. Like for example, this one, like big, massive 9-figure like company that we signed. Like this was a brand new company. We hadn't sold energy in B2B ever. And it's like a fucking massive company that we signed. And we sent one email to this one company. We had one meeting and we closed the deal. You know, so it was like really easy. Like if we tried to sign like a $30,000 a month retainer, we probably would have not gotten it, to be honest. So like performance is always also good if you are going for like big case studies. Like sometimes I just do like a performance-based deal. I don't really care about the money at all, but I just care about the logo. Like if you go to our agent website, or not actually right now because we are in the merger and it's not updated, but we have like fucking case studies with like Pipedrive or CLD Institute. Like these are like performance-only deals. We just wanted to fucking have the logo. And of course, made a bunch of money from it as well, but it doesn't really matter. And then like one additional thing, like dynamic pricing. So this is like something that you should also consider. It's like if you have static pricing, aka retainers, like you charge every single client $2K a month. And then here you have dynamic pricing, or you just work on performance. Like in a lot of cases, you will make more money, because there are going to be companies that like they are going to be too small to afford this retainer. And then there's going to be companies where like crush it really fucking hard for them, but they're only paying you, let's say 2,000 a month or 3,000 a month or 5,000 a month, but you're like crushing it really fucking hard for them, so you could have made more money. So when you work on performance, Like you can sell also the smaller deals, so you get paid for the small deals. You don't have to like disqualify them immediately. This is good, especially if you're in the beginning. Or like maybe the economics of your client's business don't just work out. You can still sell to them because it's performance based. And the same way goes here, like on the premium pricing side on like P2, it's like if you absolutely fucking crush them, you're also gonna get paid extra. So usually like you end up just making more money with the same lead flow with dynamic pricing, aka performance pricing, or you could also have different packages. So again, just something to fucking think about. But yeah, like the main big issue that people have, and I guarantee in a second I'm gonna go into how to actually say retainers, but first thing that I just wanna cover before we go into it, and I'll just make sure. Yeah, exactly. So this is what I see often. So like number one retainer mistake for agencies, for growth marketing agencies. It's like, and again, this applies like whatever performance-based pricing you run. Like you could be running like pay per call, B2B lead gen agency, or you could be running like rev share based e-com creative agency, or you could be running a copywriting agency or a closing agency or whatever, you know? Like what happens in some cases, especially when like beginners are starting out, like they create like a performance-based offer and they, let's say, do pay-per-call B2B lead gen. And they work and they sign these like pay-per-call lead gen deals, aka they get paid, for example, $300 for every single call that they book for their client through cold email or whatever source. And then they take these clients, they have 5 clients and they work with them, yada, yada, yada. And they book each of those clients a few meetings a month. And let's say on average, they're making like their clients, they're getting paid $900 a month per client. So average client, like they book 3 calls a month. And then they use all these tools and they hire a few VAs and suddenly they realize that fuck, like I'm not making enough of money here. Like I'm actually losing money or breaking even with these clients. You know, it's like pay-per-call. Like they say that pay-per-call is really bad because I'm not making that much money. I have 10 clients on pay-per-call, but I'm only making fucking 5K a month. Like what is this shit? I want to transition into retainers. So they think the issue is their pricing model because they're only making, let's like, again, fucking, they have 10 clients. Average client is paying them $500 a month. So in total, they're making $5,000 a month. And, they're working a lot, 10 clients, that's a lot of work. And then they have like a VA and some tools and whatever the fuck. So maybe they're like only profiting like $2,000 a month. They have like $2,000 a month in profit and they're working like crazy. So they're like, oh, like pay-per-call pricing, like this is really bad. I'm making $2,000 a month in profit and I'm working 80 hours a week. Like this is fucking terrible. I want to move to retainers. But here, there's a false belief. They think that the problem, they think the problem is their pricing model. So they're trying to solve this problem by changing pricing models, but their actual shit, their real problem is they suck dick. Their service delivery is really fucking bad. You know, like if you're on performance and you're making $500 a month per client, you are probably delivering them fucking garbage results. Because if you had 10 clients and you were delivering fucking great results for at like 6, 7, 8 of them, like you would be making fucking 25,000, 30,000 a month. So the actual problem, like they're like number one symptom is that they're not making a lot of money. They're like fucking poor. They're not making money. They're working a lot, not making a lot of money. They think the problem is that they have that they're charging pay-per-call, but actually the problem is that they are not making any money, so they're not getting good results for their clients, so their clients don't pay them well. Naturally, that's like how performance-based pricing works. So they focus all of their effort into figuring out how they can start charging retainers, when in actuality, they should focus on how to get their clients better results. Because if they just got their clients better results, they would probably make 3, 4, 5 times more money, and all of their problems would be solved. You know, so do not, like if right now you're in a situation where you're not making that much money on performance, it probably just means that you fucking suck. So don't think that changing the retainers is going to fix anything. Like, yeah, like you can probably fix the retainers and start charging, let's say you start charging like $3,000 a month and you fucking get 3 new clients, like boom, suddenly you go to $9,000 a month in revenue with 3 clients, you're working way less, yada, yada, yada. But the underlying problem still fucking exists. You still fucking suck. You never fixed the the service delivery issue. So all of your clients are gonna fucking churn, and none of them are gonna get any results, and they're gonna charge back, and they're gonna complain, and they're gonna ask for refunds, and you're gonna ruin your reputation, which is way more expensive. So do not charge retainers if you are fucking bad. Like that should be like pretty obvious. Like that should be like an extremely obvious statement. But again, a lot of people get blinded by it. Boom. So let's get into the real thing. That's why you're here for. So how to actually sell retainers. And again, this is going to apply to whatever service you sell. If you sell fucking ad creatives, do media buying, do cold calling, cold email, landing pages, funnels, whatever you do, how do you actually sell retainers? So we actually have to first understand the difference between performance versus retainers. Like, what is the big difference? Why is it so easy to sell performance-based deals? Like getting a $300 per call deal is like the fucking easiest thing ever if you're running a lead generation agency. It's like extremely easy. But then when you try to sell a retainer for fucking $3,000 a month, like that's hard as hell for a lot of people. So the only difference between these two pricing models is when you are charging performance, the client is naturally paying for the results. They are paying for 5 or 10 or fucking 20 meetings per month. But the difference is that they pay after the results. But when you sell retainers, they are still paying for the exact same results. They are still looking for the exact same thing. They still want the same results, but the only difference is they pay before the results and they trust that you get the results. So this is the only difference. When you sell retainers, the only thing changing is that they pay you before they actually get the results. With performance-based, they pay after the results. So if you tell someone that, hey, we're going to run these cold email campaigns for you for $300 per call. Every single call that we book, you're going to get us you're going to give us $300. And we are looking to book you 10 meetings a month. So this would total to around 3K a month. But if for some reason we get less, you pay us less. If we get you more, you pay us more. But then when you sell a retainer, let's say you sell it for $3,000 a month, you're still selling the results. Hey, with this $3,000 a month service, we are estimating that we're going to get you 10 calls, which would mean that every single call would end up costing you $300. And if your closing rate is this and your this is that, this is going to be your ROI. They're paying for the exact same fucking thing. Nothing is changing here. With the pricing model, the only thing that changes is that the client just has to trust you enough that you are actually can get the results that you're promising them and that you're not going to fucking scam them. And the keyword here is, if you have paid attention, this is not gonna come as a surprise. The keyword here is trust. When you're selling a retainer, the client just has to trust you more. You have to generate trust. And how do we generate trust? We have better rapport. So this is just like a sales skill or like just sales thing, like you just have to be better in the discovery call. You have to ask them better questions, more questions. You have to show them that you're interested. You have to remember what they said when you're pitching them. You have to give them a relevant, personalized, custom pitch. And you have to, your personality has to match with them and all this shit, You have to have a rapport with them. This naturally builds trust. Second thing is credibility. So this would be, or credibility or proof. So this is again, case studies, testimonials, yada, yada, yada. Certifications, expert badges, all kinds of shit like this. So you can just, again, build more trust by showing that you are an authority figure by using your proof. And the last thing is going to be if you look at my videos often, I talk about this a lot, your mechanism. The reason why a lot of people struggle selling retainers versus performance is that markets get sophisticated. Like if we go Eugene sophistication level, again, this is like my favorite graph ever on marketing. I use this everywhere because it's like the base of everything. Like markets get sophisticated. Like the more popular or the more like companies there are selling a certain service, let's say like more B2B lead generation agencies there are, like the higher the skepticism goes. Because these people have more time amount and buying experiences. Like these people see more of these claims, they get burned more, they see more bad experiences. Skepticism increases. And the more the skepticism increases, the harder it is to sell just a fucking plain old retainer. There always has to be like a thing that generates the trust. In the beginning, you can just fucking make any claim you want, but as the market gets more sophisticated, level 4, level 3, like you have to introduce a mechanism, you have to have a logical reasoning or logical process behind generating the actual result. So if you have a really fucking good mechanism, if you tell them that, hey, first we do fucking XYZ, then we do ABC, then we do 1, 2, 3. Like if this is a really logical process, like, and you show them that, hey, this is how we get your results. Like if this makes a lot of sense to a prospect, and if this mechanism is really good and logically makes sense, like if every single lead generation agency out there is just sending out like fucking mass spam emails and people are getting burned by that because it naturally doesn't work. And then you come into the market and you say, hey, we are going to use Clay and all of these fucking GPT prompts and all this shit. So all of the emails look completely handwritten. Here's a few examples. The prospect is going to logically make with his left brain or her left brain, they're going to make it, okay, this fucking makes sense. I can see and understand why this would work better than anything else that others are doing. I could see how this can actually get me results. So if you want to sell retainers, you have to build more rapport, have better case studies and proof, but most importantly, you have to have a better mechanism. But then again, here's this problem. Once you actually have a really fucking good mechanism, usually you want to charge performance, you know? So then actually when you get to the point where everyone wants to pay you a retainer, you want to start fucking charging performance because you just fucking make more money. So there's this dilemma, so to say. But yeah, the mechanism is like the easiest lever to pull. Just build a better service. Just build a better process to get results, like innovate on it. Like if right now you are running like Facebook ads, like if right now, let's say you're doing like Facebook creatives, UGC, and you're running them into like a really simple funnel, like figure out how to make a better, more unique funnel that no one else is using, or how to create a process for creating the ad creatives so they stand out from everyone else. So your ad creatives just perform and scale better. And then when you just logically show that to the client that, hey, everyone else is doing this, we are doing this, and this is why it's better. And if it actually makes sense, if it's actually logically a better mechanism, the clients are gonna also see that, and they're gonna trust you, and they're gonna fucking gladly pay you a retainer because someone else is doing that, and it logically connects in their head. You know, it's the same thing. It's like if you go to a car store, like let's say you go to a fucking car shop, you go and buy a car, and there's like 2 cars. There's like fucking, you know, there's like a car like this. I'll use this as an example. There's a car like this. And then next to this car, there's, I don't know shit about cars. So I'm just gonna, yes, this is an example. And then there's this car. Like, and you can think about it like this is everyone else's service and this is your service. Like, yeah, from the outside, of course, the cars look better, but even if they look the same, and the car salesman told you, hey, this car is fucking slow and shit, this car is really good, and they opened the hood, and you could see the engine of this car, and it's like a piece of shit engine, and here there's like a fucking giga turbo, whatever. Like there's no sales process, or like you don't need any selling. Like you see it with your own eyes why this car would be faster because it has like a fucking way sicker and better looking engine. You're like, okay, this fucking connects in my head. Like if this car has a turbo and this other car doesn't have a turbo, of course this car's gonna be faster. Like that's the same way prospects are gonna look at your service. Like, hey, all the other competitors are sending mass emails, but these guys, they have this AI prompt and this Clay workflow that like mass personalize all the emails. Like, of course, it's going to make sense. Of course, it's going to work better. You know, like you don't need to do any fancy sales tricks to sell that. And once they see that and once it connects in their head, they're going to fucking trust you way more. And then if your offer is good, your pricing model is good, you have trust, rapport, authority, all this shit, they're going to pay you a retainer. But again, even if you can sell retainers, it doesn't always mean that you should. It's going to be completely dependent on your business, and there really is no right or wrong answer. For some niches, retainers work better. Like some niches, like they just want to fucking pay for retainers. They don't want any performance shit. Like that happens. And in some niches, like performance is going to work way better. And with some offers, performance, etc. There's no right or wrong answer. But I just get a lot of questions about this, so I just wanted to explain this once and for all. So, yeah. But that's it. Take care.